Another lazy afternoon. The clouds covered in gray.
Namaste everyone, welcome back. I hope you guys are all doing great, and after a whole 6-month gap from making DIYs, I'm so excited to bring to you guys a very classic DIY but with a little twist. So we all remember the era where dreamcatchers were a huge thing on YouTube and everyone was making dreamcatchers. So today we're going to be doing exactly that, and we are going to be DIYing a dreamcatcher but with a little twist. And this dreamcatcher, I promise, is going to steal your heart away. So before we dive right into the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell button down there so you're notified every time we have a new upload on the channel. And I have a whole playlist of the DIYs that I've done on the channel. It'll be linked right over here so you can directly check it out. And now let's get started. First off, let's please take a moment to appreciate my very beautiful artwork that I made out of the supplies that we're going to be needing today. So the first thing we need is a round cardboard piece. This one is a cake base. Basically, when you order cakes, this is what the cake rests on. It's quite sturdy and also a great way to recycle them as well. So full marks for the sustainable approach. You can also use a regular cardboard, needless to say. A round one will just lessen the hassle of cutting it into that shape. Now I had another one of these, so I'll just use it to trace half a moon onto the other one, but you can also use a plate or any random item to do it. When that's done, use a paper cutter. If you're younger, please don't do it without adult supervision. I tried cutting it in multiple ways and eventually realized the best way to do it is to repeatedly go over the lines until you reach the bottom and the cardboard slices in two halves. So after that immaculate transition, I'm going to save this for some future DIY, and this is the part we'll use. I'll strip the foil because we don't need it and it'll be difficult to stick anything on anyway.
Type away inside, oh, make a today just a little less mundane, oh, I can stay inside.
Moving on, I'll use one of these pastel sheets in pink. The color you choose is up to you. For this project, one sheet was sufficient. Place the moon onto it and trace the edges. Now for cutting it out, make sure you leave a gap of roughly an inch from the trace shape. This doesn't have to be perfect. You'll see how it'll look as we work our way forward. We'll make repeated cuts around the trace shape on the paper. Do ensure that you don't cross the border of the shape while cutting. These folds will help us impart a more seamless finish to the shape.
Covered in gray, third coffee of the day. Almost fell asleep on Zoom. I yawn at the display. Third meeting of the day.
Once completed, this is how it'll look. Apply glue inside the trace shape first and be generous with it. You don't want it to fall off after hours of hard work. Place it carefully inside the boundary and stick properly so it doesn't move. Next, apply glue on the flaps and one by one, fold it inwards onto the other side as shown in the video. This is the finished result and this is how the back looks like. Now you can leave it as is, but I wanted it to look much more clean, so I picked up the remaining cutouts from the sheet and decided to paste them here as well. You can use a fresh sheet of paper, but what's the point of recycling if we end up wasting, right? So this is the cleaner side, which is going to be the back of our dreamcatcher. And the other side where I stuck the cutouts to cover up the gaps is going to be on the front. Why? Because the embellishments will anyway cover it up. So flipping it to the other side, I'll mark the places where I want to make the piercings for the hangings and use a compass to poke a hole.
Today, just a little less mundane, oh, I can stay inside and type away inside, oh, take today, oh, doesn't it?
Okay, so the thread and laces are in place and all the knots and messy situation we'll keep on the front. Now I'll use a hot glue gun to start sticking the embellishments in place. You can use any other glue, just make sure it's strong enough to hold the weight. I've used all sorts of shells, cauries, pearls, basically all things beachy. Now you'll see how by strategically placing the shell on the knot will hide it, and this is the reason we use the messier side to do all the decoration, and slowly you'll see how it will start coming together. There's no pattern here, I literally just stuck whatever came to my hand first, and slowly you'll see how the butterflies on the right that I made for the decor will disappear as I stick them onto the dreamcatcher. So here's a 50x time lapse of me sticking them on and bringing the dreamcatcher to life. The top half of the dreamcatcher complete, and now we'll move to decorating the bottom hanging. To start off, I'll string a few pearl beads at the top, and rest will be a mix of shells and feathers.
I yawn at the display, third meeting of the day.
I'll add a drop of hot glue at the bottom of each bead so that it doesn't slip and stays in place. You can also add a knot instead to keep it from sliding down. So now I'll grab everything and start hot gluing it under the beads. On goes the feather, and then we'll stick the cowrie shell. I went in with a bead, then shell, bead and shell, and so on. Our first layer is done, and now I'll use some white feathers to repeat the same thing on the remaining thread, and finally stick some seashells at the bottom to finish it.
As a little child, I naturally would see magic.
And here's the moment you were waiting for. I mean, isn't this genuinely the most beautiful dreamcatcher ever? Also, I added one more string at the end so you can add more piercings beforehand. I'm telling you guys have to try it because generic dream catchers are so mainstream. But this, trust me, everyone who visits you is going to ask where you got this beauty from.
I can stay inside and step away inside. Oh, make today just a little less mundane. Oh, I can stay inside and step away inside. Oh.
So that was all for this week's video, guys. I hope you liked this dream catcher with a little twist that I had for you guys. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe before you leave. And don't forget to share the pictures if you decide to recreate this DIY with me on social media. And until then, I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye!